Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining. We're going to have another wonderful session. Okay. Um, don't forget subscribe and give us a like so we can. And if you have something to share to comment to ask for question, you can add it on the comment. So we will start another video. Last time we deployed the and installed the Windows Active Directory server. Okay. We deploy it to provide user authentication, domain name resolution. It's very important to have it in your infrastructure. And in we deploy also a firewall appliance. Don't forget in our first video, I think, so to provide VLAN, routing and switching capabilities to our infrastructure, to our lab infrastructure. So we're going to start. But after we install the Active Directory, another thing I did, but I do not show you, is we install. Um, I install a second adapter to the Windows Active Directory VM. Let me show you. Here it is my physical host, VMware host. It is a lab DC that we create, and we put two virtual NIC on it. The first one, it is for the our lab, so it connect to the lab switch, and the second it connect to the physical network. What I did that it is when I need to connect to the lab, so everything I have to do in the lab, I will connect to the lab DC, and from the lab DC I have access to my lab infrastructure, so I can connect to vCenter, Esxi, whatever I want to do. So you have dual NIC, one that is attached to the lab switch and one that is attached to the physical network. And if you see here, I'm connected to you see, it has an IP to the physical network, and I'm connected to it. And from there, I can deploy all my lab, I can do everything I want. Okay. So it is my FortiGate firewall virtual appliance, and this is the Active Directory. So we're going to deploy now the three SXI servers. Let's go back to the infrastructure, to the design topology we create. Okay, so it is the topology. So in the lab we are going to deploy three SXI servers. As we don't have physical servers in the real world, there will be physical servers, but as we are doing a lab, we don't need to purchase physical servers, so it will be what we call nested virtual servers. So we create three SXI servers that we will install a SXI on it. Okay. um let's do this. So we're going to create three SXI hosts. Okay, I go to the virtual machine, create VM. We call the first one SXI 01. Okay, the family will be order and it will be SSI 8. Okay, now here we can provide we can provide maybe we can give more. Let's give 16, so we will be more realistic. So in your in my environment, I have a big HP DL 380 generation 10. But for you, maybe your lab can be very conservative, very restrained. So I will do my lab similar to you. That's why I create three SXI servers. In the real world, you should have at least four SXI servers. For example, when you put one in maintenance, all other three SXI servers can work normally. But as I know that your lab can be very conservative, can be very restrictive, so I try to mimic my lab to your lab. So I don't think that you have many resources. So I do it in the middle. So I do my lab with three research servers. But if you have a lot of resources, I recommend that you go to four USXI servers. Okay. Um, let's be back. So we're going to do two socket. So we have two socket, and each socket it goes. And you have to connect, you have to check to expose hardware asset virtualization to the guest OS, so you can install, you can do what we call nested virtualization. So you have for example, the physical host have VMware, and on top of it, you create under the layer of virtualization what we call a nested virtualization. And for the RAM, we can give um, I don't know. Let's give 32 gig. Okay. And now I think we're going to stop for the hard disk to explain you better what we're going to do. As we are going to do vCenter, uh, in vCenter, that's mean that we're going to virtualize our physical storage. So as we're going to virtualize this with the technology what we call vCenter, so we have to plan accordingly the disk that we are going to use for vCenter. Okay, maybe I have to. This video it will be for the deployment of the whole VMware stack. I mean SXI, vCenter, NSX, VRNI, other stuff. But maybe I have to. I will come later with separate video so I can focus on vCenter. Maybe talk a lot of more, do troubleshooting, talk a little deeper on it, on SXI, on vCenter, etc. But now, for the simplicity of the video, mm, we will not wait on Vicent, so we will. But I will come. I hope that I will come with a video later, so I can focus on Vicent. Okay, Vicent. Before create Vicent, you should have a disk to install ESXi. Before you can install it, it was recommended, it was the solution. So instead of wasting a physical disk to install SXI, so the recommendation was to install a USB drive, a USB stick. So you install a SXI on the USB drive. But this is not the recommended solution now, because we experiment many crash on those drives, so it is not reliable. So uh, VMware back again, so he say that you have to have a physical disk so to install SXI. But I can guarantee you, I do a lot of VCF deployment, VMware Cloud Foundation deployment, and all those um, all those Eh, I use the a removable USB drive to install the ESXi. So I do big deployment for the bank, for insurance company, for the companies, and I have no problem on it. But as VMware recommend now, so please use a physical disk to for the SXI. So in our lab we use a physical disk, maybe that we have a 200 gig to install the SXI. Now, for the vCenter, the vCenter needs vCenter need two two type of disk. You need one for the cache tire, and you will need another one for the capacity. One for the capacity. The cache tire is used for with cache performance. So when you have VM that need a something to push so those data that need to read quickly, so those data are put on the cache tire. So it's used for read cache performance, while the capacity tire is makes the capacity for storage for storing the data. So the the actual data is stored on the capacity tire, but the cache tire is used for read cache performance. So it improve, so data is improve faster. So normally for the capacity you use intensive write performance for the capacity, and for the cache you use some special disk for the cache um tire a tire or tier, I don't know, for the vCenter. And you can use what you call the disk group. So as I told you, please, I apologize, I won't focus on vcent on the video, so it will be a whole department or Esxi, but maybe I will come with a later on a video to focus on vcent, but to show you vcent use what you call a disk group. A disk group. So a disk group has a cache and in capacity. You should have two disks, at least one for the cache and another one for capacity. I can have one for the cache and three or four other disks for capacity. And if you have many disks, VMware recommend you that you use many disk groups. So the data is faster. A go from the storage subsystem and to go to the guest OS. So it's better to have many disk group instead of you create a one disk group that has one or two caches this and many capacity. But for our lab, we will use two disk group. Okay, we will use another disk that will be used for cache. So it will be two disk that will be used for cache for the cache tire or tier. So I have to know or to pronounce it. Okay, and we will use o- two other disk, one for each disk group that we'll use for capacity. So we will create another. So it will be the capacity. So each disk group has two disks, one for the cache, one for the capacity. Okay. So in our lab, we will create five disks. One that will have the ESXi installed. It will be dedicated only for ESXi. And we will have four disks that we'll use for the vCenter. We will use two disks for the cache tier and two other disks for the capacity. Okay. So let's return to our lab. So we will create the first one. It will be 200. Okay, it will be for the SXI. Okay, make sure that it is in provisioning. So because we are doing in your lab, we don't want to use all the space. Okay, and we will create four additional disks. One, two, four additional disks. Two, three, four. Okay, we will use two disks that we'll use for the cache. Normally, the cache tier is smaller. I hope I know the ratio is around 10 or 12% from the capacity. Okay, so we will use 300 for the cache, and for the capacity we will use 600. Okay, again, I hope that I will come with a video to explain a deeper on the vCenter. So we will do mini lab, we will do proactive tests, we will do maybe some compression, some decompression. We can do some WED on the vCenter, but for the simplicity of the lab, so we will not focus on this. But this is something that I hope one day later I will come to deeper on it. So on each topic of the lab, maybe I will do some separate video to focus on it. Okay. So we do theme provisioning. Okay. Okay. And don't forget, in our lab, each server has two physical NIC, okay, for load balancing and redundancy. So we have to mimic it when we create the virtual SXI servers. So you have already one. Make sure that it is VMNet 3 on a SXI 8. It is by default, but if you are using a previous USXI, so sometimes it is on E1000. So make sure that it is on VNet. Okay, and let create another the second network adapter. So we have two. Okay, and that is they are connect in the lab switch. Okay, after that's it, and we are going to attach the SXI. So I've already uploaded to my physical host. So I attach the SXI in at the time I'm shooting the video, and we are using the version of it is SSI 8 update 1A. But maybe if there is a big specification, a change of modification, maybe I can do another video to explain the change, the difference. Sorry. Okay, and I do next, finish, and we're going to install the SXI. Okay, so it's better that we create sometime previously I used to clone. If you have vCenter, you can clone this SSI. If you want to deploy four virtual SSI servers, you can clone it. But this is something that I don't recommend if you don't know what you are doing, because when you are cloning, there are some, for example, the seed, some elements that are the same, and later that give you some headache, some problem, some issues when you are going, for example, when you are going to do cluster, when you are do some things, they say that they find the same information that give you some issues. So don't know what you if you don't know if you're not aware of this, I recommend you create create from scratch additional SXI servers. So I will do another one for SXI 02. So it's very important this, because maybe I can't show you that, but this is something I used in the past to do, and I have big problem on it. So I know how to trick them, and sometimes you have to modify the VMX file to adjust those settings. But um, if you're not aware of this, I recommend for the simplicity of the video for the lab, so create from scratch add all additional SXI virtual server. Okay, so going quickly on this, uh, we do 16. Okay, 32 gig. first for the SXI, and we create four additional server disk. One, two, three, four. Okay, this will be for the cache. Sorry, it is this is for the capacity. Okay, yeah. Now let's connect the the SXI. Okay, so for the last one, I'm going to pause the video and create the last one just to save a, I do it, so I will save time. So I will pause the video and we'll be back. Okay, so we create three SXI virtual servers. For the first one, we're going to install SXI. So I click on it. I've already attached the ISO file. So I'm going to power on and to install the SXI 8. Okay, so it's very simple. No, no big, not a, it's not a big deal. So so far so good. Okay, and if you are deploying the version 8 on your physical host, it is a generation for HP, it is a generation 8 or 9. You will encounter a CPU issue, hardware issue. So the hardware model for generation 8, 9 is not compatible for SXI 8. So you will have some issues. You can There's some turnaround solution, but this is something that you should be aware of that. Okay, take some time. Okay. Okay, for the first installation, I'm not going to pause the video, but so you can see the whole process. But maybe for the two other virtual servers, I will pause the video so you won't be too long. So it takes some time, but it is a lab, so but I won't cut it so you can see the whole process. Let me do a quick drink. Okay, take time. Very weird. It take time. Okay, here we go. Okay, start. Okay, so we're ready to install. We press enter. A F11 to continue. So you will populate all available devices. So we see that eh, you see, we have the 200 for it is for the so we this is this that will be used for the ESXi installation, and the 430 that will be used for vCenter. So we will deploy the ESXi on the first available one, that is the 200 gig. Okay, so we give a password. Okay, and we're ready to deploy it. F11 to install it. So it is the process is very straightforward, so there is no issue. Okay, so we will deploy and install three SXI servers. But if you have space, if you have resources, I mean compute memory, if you have enough resources for your lab, so you can install an additional a SXI server. So you can have four SXI servers in your environment. But for now, to for the simplicity of the video, we will deploy three SXI. But we have plenty of resources to deploy another one. But I want that my lab will be a little similar to yours. Okay, so I will boot. We finish. So after we finish, so we will provide basic configuration. I mean IP, DNS, gateway, so basic configuration, so we can access to the SXI. So it's rebooting. Okay, so so I think the session was a little quick, so very straightforward. Okay, so we finish. So we are going to press F2 to customize the system. If you want to restart F12, but F2 to provide static IP. So I provide the password. I can set a password. We have already did it. So we're going to configure the management network. So we will start in the first NIC. Don't forget. So we recognize the server has two NIC. So we will start on the first one, physical NIC. Okay. We don't provide VLAN because we are using. Don't forget we're using a physical. We don't do VLAN on for the management network. Okay, and here we're going to provide the IP 101 for the first server /24 gateway. Okay, DNS configuration. It is the IP we it is the IP of the USXI of the Windows Active Directory server. This is the server that provide domain name resolution. So we provide it. This one thing, and it's the IP. Don't forget on the Active Directory we create a record for each additional. So don't forget to do this. So we have to create a record that provide that do a mapping of the name and the corresponding IP, and a PTR record that provide the corresponding IP to the name. So we did it on the previous video, okay? And the DNS name blueocean.it. Okay. Yes. Yes, and finish. Okay. If I try to ping it, okay. Um, ping SSI 01, the fully qualified domain name. Yeah, no problem. Okay. So that's it. If you want to access it, we can um, try to access it. No problem. Root the password we provide. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. So what we're going to do now, we have deployed the USXI on the first one. So I'm going to pause the video. It will be the same that we're going to do on the SSI 02, SSI 03, except that we go for the SSI 02, we will give the IP 102 and 103 for SSI 03, and that's it. So we're going to pause. So the video won't be too long, and I will be back after. So I'm going to pause, install, do the same thing on SSI 02 and SSI 03, and I will be back later. Okay, I'm going to pause. Okay, I'll be back. So I install um, the SXI 1. So it is installed. Oh, okay, and for for the site 2, we did the same thing. So we put the IP 102. It's okay, no problem. And for the 3 again, to escape. Yeah, and we see that we can ping, no problem. And that's it. So there is no, it's not a big deal. So it's very it's straightforward, very simple. So what we did, we deployed the 3 SXI servers, virtual servers, nested servers, you can see. And now we're going to deploy vCenter. So if I want to manage the infrastructure, I have to go on each SXI 01, 02 individually to manage the VM on it. But what VMware provide, it is what they provide the vCenter, the virtual vCenter. It is to manage the whole infrastructure. So when you deploy vCenter, so I will be able to add all SXI servers on it, so I can manage it in a single management view. um, I can manage all those VM, all the whole infrastructure, etc. But it's very crucial, very important benefit to have. So you cannot do nothing actually if you don't have a vCenter. So this is something that we're going to do in the next video. So we're going to deploy the vCenter, VMware vCenter. Thank you very much. I will very glad if you can subscribe to the video. So it is, I'm very new. This is maybe the 3 video that I'm shooting for this channel. So I'm very new. You can see that in my language. Maybe I'm not I'm not maybe not calm. I'm not maybe stressed, but I think this is being shut out later as long as I do video. But please do me a favor, subscribe and like, and give me some comments. What do you think of it? If you have question, um, if you don't understand something, so I can provide some video or I can answer it on the comments for you to clarify what you don't understand. So provide me some comments. Give me, or do you like I think we are here for a long time, so we will do many videos. So stay tuned. Thank you very much. So that video will deploy vCenter. Thank you. Bye for now.